Hello, testing. Just gonna make sure my audio is good before I start blathering about stuff. Okay, seems pretty good. Maybe slight adjustment. Let's see how that is. Probably a little better. Maybe there. Something like that, yeah. Can I lock this audio and it'll just, oh yeah, you can lock volume. You want to make sure it's good first. Okay, probably right there. Lock that, and I'll lock the mic. Okay, good. Cool. Those should be solid now. And they should stay that way. If there is any trouble with the audio, let me know. It should be good. Hopefully nothing sounds janky. Hello, YouTube. Gonna be doing some 3D modeling tonight. We're gonna be modeling the B-Blader, who is one of the more, actually probably the most complex model that I have to make for this project. So it's probably gonna take me many sessions, but we're gonna get it started tonight. Should be fun. I got lots of coffee. I got water. I got everything I need to sit here for hours and work on this thing. So should be good. Yeah, and I'm gonna get started. Feel free to check out the links in the bio if you so wish. There's a link to the Patreon, a link to the Discord, and I think just a link to my work on ArtStation or something. So yeah, hang out. Feel free to ask questions. I'm gonna be just working on this and talking a bit, and should be fun. Let me fix my screen here. Get rid of this doohickey. There we go. Cool, much better. So yeah, this is the block-in, the very rough, very bad, not usable for the game block-in that I made when I was working on the concept art. I'll show that real quick. Here's that, sorry this is so narrow, but yeah. So when I was working on this concept art, this one, let me just widen that. I made this block-in for like this concept art, so it's just very, I knew it was going to be off in the distance. I knew it didn't have to be super detailed or anything, so it's just kind of rough. It did kind of establish, I think, a good width, because normally when you see the B-Blader, you see him from the side, obviously, because it's a side-scrolling game. So it helped me figure out that at least, and I think it'll be helpful for that, but it's not, obviously not good enough to use in game, and it's just a rough block-in, so. But I'm going to use this as a reference while I'm working on the finished model, and it should be good. It'll at least help with that width I already established. I think this is a good width for the thing. So we'll see as I go. I might adjust that a little bit right now if I decide it's not that great for the width. Let me pull this reference sheet back down to where it belongs. D-Storm F says hello. Hello, D-Storm F. Good to see you. Glad you could tune in. Just getting started on this model here. It's going to be a very long one. I think this is going to take quite a while to do. I was saying at the beginning, this is, I think, the most complex model that I have to create for this whole project, for this whole game. So I figured I would just get going on this dude, and that'll take me, you know, several streams probably to finish, but this is the rough block-in of it that I did for the concept art. Anyway, so I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. Where is the best place to put him? Because I have the camera set up there for reference. Maybe I should just move him. In fact, let's go to something quicker. Let's go to Eevee, so that I can move around nice and fast. Let me get this dude out of the way. I'm gonna kind of keep him kind of in the same line as the reference though. And yeah, let me look at the width. I'm not sure about the width now that I see it. Maybe he would be, let me see what happens if I compress him a little bit. Is that cooler looking? A little more, maybe like that. Something like that for the width. And then he's a little bit more oblong-ish. Before it was like that. Now it's like this. That's a good question. D-Storm F says, how are you? Are you about to start working? I'm doing very well. Yeah, I'm about to start working on this model. I haven't started yet. This is just the rough block-in. Let's see. Yeah, I'm at the very beginning. How are you doing, Storm? It looks great, but sideways it looks very flattened. Sideways it looks flattened? Let me see. Let's look at it compared to the reference here. You know what? Yeah, I think if you look at the reference here, it does look a little bit more narrow. Like, it's not gonna be wide like this. It's probably gonna be a little bit more narrow like this, just by the way that this is arcing. This round part behind the neck. I think that is a little bit more, yeah, it's gonna be a little more narrow like that probably. And then I know that there's a couple things that are just wrong with this block-in too. Like, this doesn't come down low enough. If you look here, the tail comes down a lot lower. Yeah, and then this is also not a total side view. This is sort of a 3/4-ish view. So you're seeing a little bit of the front piece here. So it would actually be more like, if you were looking at, here, let me adjust the camera and make it flatter. Let's, because that's a very flat thing there. Yeah, let's do like 250. And then, so if you were to look at it and try to match it to this reference a little bit, probably be looking at it something like this angle, this kind of an angle. Oh, I think I put that middle one there because I thought it was a total side view, so that's probably wrong. That little point thing. Didn't notice that. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think he would be kind of like this at at this angle here. He'd be seeing it like this. So I think, yeah, his should be a little bit more narrow from the front. Although it would kind of work that if he's wide, he blocks the road more. So if you make him a little bit wider like this, and that could still work for this angle, it still looks fine. I think that might work actually, because I want him to block the road nicely. And if that's scaled, this is to scale with X, as he is in the thing. D-Storm says, in fact, if you look at the sprite, it's as if it was assembled. The head and the back are connected to the center with an ellipse. Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, in my block-in, it's more like these are two separate parts. These are more like one piece with different, maybe materials or different colors. But yeah, and then there's like the back part and the front and the head. Oops. And yeah, so yeah, I think I'm figuring this out. It's good to figure it out now before I get started. So yeah, I think this is, so like one thing I did wrong was, in the total side view, I added a middle one because I didn't realize that this was at an angle. That's just the other side. It's just turned like this. So that's one weird thing. It's kind of throwing it off for me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think what's the best way to even start this. It's such a complicated thing. I'm sort of, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of tempted to maybe start with the head and just build everything off from there. And then just kind of block in as I go. So I'll block in the head, then I'll block in the torso, then I'll block in the tail. And I can do the propeller separately because it's basically a separate piece. And that'll basically, I think, be the way to start this. Yeah, I think that'll work well. Okay, I'm gonna get going on that then. Yeah, the head is so weird. I gotta think about what's the best way to do that shape. And also, is this a hard edge or is it just round all the way? I think it's a hard edge, it looks like, actually. It's different than what I have here. See, this is very round, but I think this is like a sharp edge. So that's interesting. Okay. Let's go to this view, and then I'm gonna fix my camera. Now that I know pretty much what I'm going for here, I think. Gonna make that nice and transparent. Actually, yeah, I gotta move this thing because he's gonna get in my way seeing what I'm doing here, matching this. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new collection to just put all the pieces of the model in there. And so, yeah, I think I'm gonna start trying to do this head. And looking at it, I'm noticing that, yeah, it has kind of a look that it's flat on the bottom there on this side here. So I think that'll change how I approach this. D-Storm says, doesn't it feel great when something you've been modeling for a while and animating, etc. you see working in game? Must feel good, right? Yeah, absolutely. I felt great even just getting this my little X model done. Having him all set up, and even just playing with his rig is pretty fun because it's got a lot of inverse kinematics, so you can just kind of, you know, noodle him around. Yeah, seeing stuff come to life is really cool, especially if you start all the way in the 2D phase when you're like concepting stuff. I like that a lot when I work on stuff when I concept first, and then I get to be a part of the whole process, bringing it to 3D. It's really fun. Alright. Yeah. Oh, wrong button. Let's go back to object. There we go. And I'm gonna hide his bones just because they're obnoxious. They're bothering me. That spine bone can't be hidden. That's so annoying. I think I have to do it manually. That's fine. I'll ignore that. Okay. So yeah, looking at this head, if it was just round, I would start with just a quad sphere. But it's not. So maybe I'll probably still do that, but I'll cut it in half, and then I'll get the general shape there, and then I'll have to either inset the pieces or model them as separate pieces. Either way would be fine, I think. But to make it a more cohesive thing, maybe I'll try to inset everything so it's all one piece. That would probably be good. And it looks like this might be a little angular because it gets flat up here and then it goes up like this. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I have other reference too of a drawing that would probably shed more light on this too. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it definitely gets flat over here. This is way different than it looks here though. Like, so I don't want to follow this too much, but for stuff if I'm like wondering like what the heck is that supposed to be, I think it's good. Yeah, so this does have an angular thing going here where it's like a sharp edge, so that's correct. And then it does have like it's going back here and it gets flat for sure because this is just flat against here. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna interpret it a little bit different, but I'm gonna stay pretty true to that, I think. But I kind of like how this looks in my mind a little bit more, so I'm not going to do exactly what's happening here. Yeah, let me pull this back down. Alrighty, so I'm going to get started with this head. I am going to start with that quad sphere. Is it round cube? Yeah, and then quad sphere. Okay. Quad spheres are so useful. I use it for so many things. And then let's just get that kind of in the right spot for the reference. Even though it's at an angle, it'll still basically be what it is. Okay. And then, yeah, so I'm already seeing, you know, it might be good to, yeah, have it at the angle, because then these will all kind of match the geometry right off the bat. If well, it already kind of does, actually. If I pull it out, yeah, okay. So let me just, oh, but I see, yeah, that part. Okay, so that part's already, so maybe I'll rotate that like something like that, and then he's already there, and I can pull that down more. No, that's probably too much, actually. I would want it to be more like there, I think. Or, I mean, it's gonna need some adjustment no matter what, so I can't be too precious about it. I'm just gonna keep it flat for now and cut it in half, and then I'll mold it. Okay, and then let's scoot that back. So that flat is kind of right there where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna make that larger. I think for starters, I'm tempted to just kind of pull it into place. I might do that. Get symmetry going, and yeah, and this will help me keep those angles where I want them to be too. And while I'm at this, I gotta make this a little more transparent because I can't see that well. Maybe right there. Okay. Yeah, and then this piece is where it's gonna slope back up. Scoot out to do that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my reference really quickly. Where is my, I forgot how to flip stuff in PureRef. I always have to look it up. I never remember. It's left mouse, alt shift. That's why, because it's like a weird combination. There we go. Okay, much better. Yeah, so that goes up pretty high. It goes all the way like up to there, basically. And then this part is all down here. And again, this is 3/4 view a little bit, so I'm not gonna have it perfectly match this, but I'm gonna get the gist of it. In fact, maybe I would even rotate it to make it 3/4 view. Let me think about that. Is that necessary? Would that be better? Would that just make it confusing? I think I do have this at the proper perspective that I could do that and it would work. Yeah, I might do that real quick. Let's see. Just rotate very slightly. That should be good. And then I gotta move this dude out of the way. Okay. So now I have it basically so that it's actually looking at it, the model at the angle that it would be. So I can kind of adjust to match better. D-Storm F says, I was drawing an ultimate armor for a video thumbnail, but having a cold, I had teary eyes so I couldn't go on, and now I'm watching with the same watery eyes someone else working. Yeah, I know how that is. It's awful working when you're sick. You should punch a hole in the bottom and go a cylinder no cylinder from there, I say. Not sure exactly what you mean. Punch a hole in the bottom, like the yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. Bottom of the head or bottom of the, or like where the neck connects or something. That's kind of a cool shape from the front. It's starting to look interesting. It's better than this. I might kind of keep it like that if that works for the silhouette. Let's go back to side view here and I'll pull this in more because it looks like it does go in a bit more. Okay, but this can't stick out that much because it's got to be, there's going to be this round window here and that's very flat. So I got to make sure this makes sense for that. Unless I change that, but I don't want to change it too much. I want to keep it pretty close to what's in the game. That's what I've been doing so far. Little changes here and there, but nothing too crazy, too different from what's in the game. And yeah, that would be hard to have that window there if that was doing that. Gonna pull this out too, just so it's nice and convex. Is it convex? Concave is when it's like in, right? I've always thought. I probably got that wrong. I don't know. And looking at the reference there, it doesn't start angling until it's down here. Oh, but that's part of the seam too, though. Oh, okay, so I missed this. Alright, so maybe pull this down as well. And just let this be the flare. But I want it to follow this line, because this is a good line that I created. It's working the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Okay, it's starting to come along. The only thing is, so this curves in a bit more at the bottom, for sure. And this should be basically matching now because it is at the 3/4 angle now, so I'm gonna push it in a bit more. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And then for this flat part, I guess I can just kind of do it like this so that this flattens out. And then this becomes like where it connects, and that'll probably work. And yeah, I don't think it's perfectly vertical either, except for maybe like where it hits this angle. So let's pull this down a bit. And I'm gonna smooth this all out after, so that it's not all janky from sculpting. But that'll be when it's a little more finished. Oh, the cylinder for the gun has on the tip. Yeah, definitely. I'll be getting to that later. Right now I'm just working on the block ends, but yeah, you're right about that. The truth is that those machines were heavily armed machine guns, homing missiles, assault robots. I shot down 2 just by shooting the lemons. Yeah, I always wondered, because the Mavericks are supposed to be bots that have gone bad. So I wonder, what were these just military bots that went bad? Like, why are they shaped like bees? Like, this is definitely thinking way too much about it. But like, did they serve some other purpose, or were they just military machines, or, you know, because they're supposed, most of the Mavericks are like, there's sort of like utility bots that just went bad. Although I guess that's not always true. Yeah, it's, you know, it's a kid's game. Can't be too can't think about it that much, I guess. But yeah, I always wondered what their purpose was. Like, do they pollinate stuff? Question, are you using mirror mode? Yeah, I'm just mirroring my sculpt. So it's just the symmetry up here. The symmetry controls, it's just x-axis symmetry, so that if I pull here, it pulls there. Just so that it's gonna be symmetrical that way. Yeah, and it kind of bubbles up here, comes back down on that flat side. That's what I was working there. And let's pull these in a little bit more so it's nice and round. It's starting to look okay for a base for the head. I want to get this geometry to kind of match what's going on here as much as possible. I don't know if that's like the right way, but that's, when I model stuff, that's what I always do, and it tends to make things easier, so I'm not sure if like that's like an industry thing or not, but it works for me, so. Like, I'm already looking at how like this window comes down and how I want this geometry to match, because otherwise I would just make a separate piece and just put the window over top, because you're never going to see inside of it anyway. I don't know if that's another question I have about these things. Are these windshields just like, do they just shield like cameras or something, or are there actually, there wouldn't be people in these, right? Because they're Mavericks, they're just robots, right? I don't know, it's a tough question. You're gonna have to ask Keiji Inafune or something. Whoa, did that just move back in place? What the hell is that about? Did I hit a button on the timeline? That's weird. I wonder why I did that. I gotta fix that. Moving back. It's It's probably because I made a keyframe, yeah. Okay, anyway. I don't think even if you ask Keiji Inafune, I don't think he would even know the answer to that. That's the guy who made Mega Man, right? Keiji Inafune? Is that the name? That's the name that comes to mind. I'm not sure if that's right. D-Storm says, the first time I tried to model a character, I had to model it part by part because I didn't know mirror mode. Oh, I see. It looked like a clown when I found it. Oh, I looked like a clown when I found out. Yeah, it happens. I have all kinds of stories like that. Like, I've only been modeling 3D modeling for a few years, and I remember there was one thing that I didn't know for the longest time, and when I found out, I was like, oh my god, I wasted so much time. Oh, I think it was that you can so like if I go to edit mode and if I look at these vertices and if I grab this ring, I used to try to like make everything like a straight line because I didn't know you can just go what is it, SY0. You just go scale and then on the y-axis and then 0, and you can put the whole loop in a straight line. I didn't know that. So for the longest time when I would model stuff, I would just try to make a straight line like with my vertices. It's so stupid. Yeah, really. I have all kinds of things like, I bet there's still a lot of stuff that like that I could be doing in an easier way that I don't know. Someone told me just like a few months ago on stream that there's a automatic merge vertex mode. I didn't even know that. So I'm always learning new stuff. I'm no expert. D-Storm says, what a coincidence that just as Akira Toriyama passed almost at the same time, Akira Kitamura passed? Oh, appeared. Sorry, I didn't read that right. Akira Kitamura? Who's Akira Kitamura? I actually don't know. Is he another manga artist? Akira Kirimura? Kirimura? Oh, Kitamura. Kitamura. Akira Kitamura. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was very bummed out that Akira Toriyama passed away. I was very sad. Dragon Ball Z was like a major thing for not just me, but like any kid who grew up when I grew up, definitely. And even outside of that as well, but I mean, especially, you know, that was the era when Toonami was on Cartoon Network, and everyone I knew would run home from school to watch Dragon Ball Z. Like, that was such a big deal, especially during the Cell Saga. I remember, like, when we wanted to see, you know, how Cell would be defeated and all that. It was nuts. Everybody loved Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, very sad. He was still, he was not that old either. I don't know exactly what happened. Initially they said he had a subdermal hematoma, which I think is like, usually you have to hit your head or something. But then I saw other articles that said it was just a stroke. I don't know if maybe there's some overlap there, or maybe they're the same thing even, or one can result in another. I don't know, I'm not a doctor or anything, but yeah, I don't know, it's very sad. He was still doing a lot of work on stuff too, so it's a big bummer for sure. It would have been anyway, but I mean, just, you know, the fact that he was still in the middle of a lot of things, he still had things he wanted to do. It's always sad. it was really cool to see the outpouring of, you know, all the people who respected him, all the artists and fans and people just posting. That was cool, I thought. Just to see how much people really loved that dude, who most of us have never even met. It's crazy how powerful, like, storytelling is. Akira Kitamura is the original creator of Mega Man. I say in case you didn't know. It is not well known, but he supposedly left the position to Keiji Inafune. Oh, is that true? I never knew that. Akira Kitamura? I don't think I've ever heard his name before. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I always thought it was just Keiji Inafune who created Mega Man. That's interesting. Okay, this will need a little more refinement, but I think it's the general shape that I want to go with here. And the geometry is starting to... it's a little... it's not quite where I want it to be, but... let's see... it's mostly good, I think. Alright, let me... yeah, for this part though, I gotta see... this will probably become a little more narrow here. And, wait a minute. Did X move too? Why is he in the way now? I didn't even notice that. Oops, gotta make his bones visible so I can move him. That's weird. I think I did the same thing with him where I had like a keyframe or something. I'll leave him in the frame there. Okay. Hopefully it'll stay put now. Let's see. Let's go back to sculpt. I just want to pull this out a little more. Because I don't like this, oh, actually it's fine. It's just the geometry. I thought it was like lumpy. Okay. And then let me... should I smooth it now? And also, do I want this to be a little more tapered on the sides here? So that this is the widest point, probably. Yeah, that'll probably look better. It's just a big triangle that way. Like a round triangle, that kind of suits it, I think. Yeah, that's probably a good block in there. And that window, is that gonna sit on there? So that's maybe a little too bulbous. Let's pull that out a little too. So it's nice and round. There. I gotta get rid of this floor plane. It's getting in my way. Okay, yeah, that's probably... it's about right. And then I'm going to... I want to bring these edges in more, though. So I gotta get close and kind of... because I don't want to pull in too much of the other parts. But I just want these edges to sink in so that they wrap behind it where it gets flat. Yeah, a little more like that. And then let me go to edit mode and just... can I just expand this on the X and that'll probably do it? Yeah, and and do the same thing with that. Something like that, I think. It's pretty decent. And let's go ahead and reinforce this edge. And then I'm going to create a plane there. And I'm gonna try to smooth this a little bit with a smoothing modifier. Hate that you have to search now for these. He recently posted an image of a Mega Man similar to the one from Smash Bros. You know, with those eyes that look like P. That look like screens shortly after he deleted the post, apologizing and saying it wasn't something that was really done for the public to see. Huh, that's weird. Imagine putting a Navi out there on the highway as an Easter egg. A Navi? Like Navi the Fairy? Or like, was Navi something from another Mega Man game too? I seem to remember something like that. And bossing, yeah, it'd be cool. I want to do little Easter eggs and things like that. That would definitely be fun. I had an idea for some things. Some other people have given me ideas too. I don't remember them all right now though. What if you use embossing to make the edges of the windows? Embossing. I'll probably just extrude it or do something along those lines, I think. We'll see. It depends. When I get there, I'll definitely figure it out. See, the smoothing is always very temperamental. You gotta kind of be careful. You do want it like to be nice and even, but you don't want it to screw things up. Just a little bit. Usually does the trick. Yeah, I think that's fine. Like that. Okay, so I'm gonna apply that. Just get it out of there. Okay, so now we have a base for the head at least. To start. I'm gonna move on to the torso. So yeah, I'm looking at this torso. It's definitely one piece. It's got these parts that connect. It's got this big, or this little leg thing, and then it's got this bigger leg thing. And if you kind of ignore all that, you can see that it's really just this big cylindrical kind of thing. It's obviously got more complex stuff going on than just a cylinder, but it's got like this cutout area here where it looks like maybe this arm could even slide. I don't know if it does. I don't think it actually does, but it sort of looks like that. And it definitely has a housing for it here. So that's one thing that'll be different. But generally speaking, and even if we look at the reference here, yeah, here it even looks more separated too. Like this almost looks like it is a separate piece. Yeah, you know what? It might be better to just do this as two pieces that fit each other. Just because this piece is so different. And it looks like this housing exists on this piece. Or does it kind of go over to this piece too? Because that would suggest that it's all one piece. But it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I think I'm gonna treat this as two pieces and put them together. It'll be easier to build that way because there's so much other stuff going on this piece than this one. This one's pretty simple. The only thing is here, this housing where it fits. This doesn't make a lot of sense how they... Like this sort of goes over. So I could make the decision... Yeah, on this one it's kind of like that too. It just extends over though, but it looks like it's part of this. So I think I'll treat it like that. Yeah, that'll probably be fine. Okay, let me pull this back down. So yeah, I think I will do that in 2 pieces. D-Storm says, I'm happy because in my last video I got 1,000 views. The bad thing is that I got 1,000 views after 5 months. Yeah, it happens like that sometimes. My my initial devlog for the Mega Man X thing didn't blow up until like, I think it was like almost a year. Oh no, it was like a year after I did it, it started getting views. And when I first posted it, it just had a few hundred, and then it blew up to like whatever it's at now, like almost 90k. So yeah, it's sometimes that happens. The delay is real. Okay, so now I'm going to add, should it just be a cylinder, or I could do like I could do a torus and then connect it, and that would already kind of have the same geometry as what's there. That's probably the best way. Yeah, let me do that. Let me do a torus, and let me add extra geometry. I never use toruses. Let me do 24 and 80, what would it be, 96, 24, 96. I can't do math. I'll make Blender do math for me. Yeah, it was 96. Okay, I'm not totally helpless at math, I guess. 24, does that look good? Yeah, that's probably good. Okay. R90. Let's make that bigger. Maybe about that big. And then let's make it wider. And also a little skinnier. It's not perfectly, yeah, but see, then it pinches it. I don't like that. I don't think it's perfectly round by what I'm looking at here. It definitely, well, yeah, it kind of flattens on the sides. So let me see if I can do that with proportional editing. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. And where's my, there it is, okay. And it's not going from cursor, there we go. Yeah, so something like that is gonna be better. Yeah, that's pretty close. I feel like it should still be a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and then let me go here. Where would it peak? Yeah, kind of right on that one. So let's grab this and all of those inner parts. Just delete them. And then we'll just make this a flat plane for now. And make this a flat plane. And that's probably pretty good for that yellow part. Yeah, obviously that'll need more work, but for now I think that's okay for the block-in. For a start, for clean block-in. And then let's go to the next section, the blue part. D-Storm says, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that you're really good at modeling, but now that I think about it, I wouldn't be lying if I didn't tell you, right? Yeah, that's true. I guess keeping your mouth shut doesn't really count as lying. That's true. And thanks. That's nice of you to say. I'm not that great at modeling. I think I'm okay at it. I'm no pro or anything. I got a lot to learn still, but I'm a lot more confident at it than I was when I started, that's for sure. And now for this next section, you know what's interesting? The next section, it's kind of similar, and then it just has this extra piece on it. So I wonder if I could probably just duplicate this and scale it up. Oops, on the axis there. Maybe like right there, and then widen it a little. But I did that proportional editing, so I'll have to do that again. Let's see. To make that work right. Is that what it does? Does it get rounder? I don't think it gets that much rounder. It gets like a little rounder, but that's a bit much. Maybe like that, and even I can bring in this side slightly. Maybe not. Yeah, because to account for that housing, it does actually kind of go behind this piece, which is interesting. It's kind of more flat. So can I just flatten out this concavity of this thing? Shift Y. Yeah, kind of make it more subtle. Let's bring these back in again, because I think they do still flatten on the sides now that I look at it. But it is wider, so. And where is that connecting with this? Like if I, oh, okay, yeah, there's a lot of space, so probably like that. And then does that need to be rounder now? It does still look round, it's just not as round. And it is still round. I think that's good. According to the... Yeah, it is way flatter though now that I look at it. Yeah, it's definitely... So it could even be maybe like a little more flattened. That middle, whatever that is, concavity. Okay. And then that top housing, I'm trying to think, how am I going to do this exactly? It's sort of a squarish cylinder, and it tapers at the top, obviously. It definitely has a corner there, though. You can tell from this highlight. It's right here. So it's definitely got an angle here that's sharp. Or not sharp, but it's sharper than... It's not the perfect curve or anything. So it looks like a bit like a squarish, little bit of a rounded squared cylinder that tapers at the top and is wider at the bottom, basically. E-Storm says, at this rate, Mega Man X FPS is going to come out before X Corrupted. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't looked at X Corrupted much. People mentioned it to me on stream a couple times, so I think I did check it out. It's that Sprite Mega Man X fan game that someone's making, right? It looks interesting. It looks cool. I don't know much about it. I don't know how far they are along with it either. Are they working on it super slowly? I wonder. Let's widen this a little bit because it looks like it needs it now. Something like that. Yeah, I mean, game dev takes a long time, especially if you're only one person working on it or just a couple people. It is very, very time consuming. I severely underestimated how long this would take. I thought I'd be able to, you know, crank this out in like a year, and yeah, not so much. Probably not. It'll probably take, well, I mean, to get it to a very basic working state, I'll probably be able to do it in like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to overpromise, but yeah, probably within like I don't know, 7 or 8 months from now, probably. But I mean, like, I thought, you know, I really didn't think about how much, you know, if you're one dude doing all of the models and all of the animations, and you got to figure out how to do the sound or get someone to do the sound, and you got to, you know, there's just so much stuff that you don't think about when you think like, oh, I want to make a game. Like, there's so many things that need to be done. You know, you don't get anything for free, really, unless you're making a game with like assets that you just download, I guess. But I think even that, there's a lot more work than you would expect. But yeah, it's definitely quite an undertaking. I have a lot of respect for people who work on small teams on games, or people who work on games in general. I was thinking about just the other day, like, I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth not too long ago, and I was just playing that game and wandering around and just looking at all the stuff you can do and all the mini games they have and all this junk. Man, I can't imagine doing something like that. Like, trying to make something like that. That's so massive. Like, even with a team of like 50 people, it would still take so long to make that game. I don't know how they do stuff like that. You gotta be so organized and have so much planning. The fact that they can make stuff like that at all is absolutely astonishing. It's so it's such a huge amount of work. I'm sure they can hire as many people as they need though, so you know, Square has all the money in the world, more or less. But I mean, it's still impressive to just make something so ambitious, to make something of that scale. D-Storm says, wow, I'm dedicated to making mods for Mega Man Maverick Hunter X. For Mega Man Maverick Hunter X. Which game is that? What I do is draw textures for 3D models, and seeing how they model models like the ones I modified is really great. That's cool. I never got into modding really. If I knew 3D the way I know it now back in the day, I would have liked to make mods for that old Jedi Academy game. I used to play that online, and there used to be this crazy online community for that game where they would have guilds, and like you would join like a Jedi council, or you could join like a Sith organization, and like you would RP in different servers and like go fight people, and people got really good at fighting in that game. So like if someone was really good, you couldn't beat them. Like they were so good, you could not kill them. It was really amazing. That game had this crazy community back in the day, and that makes me feel old saying that, but whatchamacallit, yeah, they had models for like every character you could imagine. They even had like stupid stuff, like you could play as a cel-shaded Gur from Invader Zim, just like flipping around with your lightsaber, like cutting people up. It was so funny. It's so stupid, but lots of fun. Yeah, it would have been cool to make mods for that, I think. They had like Anakin character models and all the different characters from Star Wars, obviously, and a bunch of characters from other stuff that people had just made and uploaded online that you could download. Oh, okay, so for the tail, I'm trying to think. I think when I made this tail, I used a screw modifier and I drew out like the shapes. The geometry is so messy though when you do that, and there's a lot of interconnected pieces that don't actually connect. So I don't think I want to do that. I could just lay out sheets and kind of do it like that. I could also start off with kind of, I don't know, just looking at it, I'm trying to think, like, what's the best way to approach the... Like, I could just do one big piece and then extrude the different sections, and then they wouldn't really be different sections. I guess the question is, how much of that do I want to animate? Like, do I want to animate the tail in such a way that it's going to fold up into itself when it kind of stretches out or something? Because if so, I definitely need to make each of those pieces different sheets. But if I'm just going to have it still the way it is in the game, in the SNES game where it doesn't actually move, I guess I don't need to make them all separate pieces. Yeah, I gotta think about that, because it's definitely got some shielding, and then it's got this inner piece, this gray piece that is like a hose that just comes down, and it kind of poops out those those little round guys that are already modeled. I mean, the tail and the head are basically going to be the only things that would be animated if I choose to animate the tail. Because the arms don't really move, or if they do move, they'll move very simply. So it's not like a big deal. I think it would be nice if the tail could move. I'm also taking on a lot with this project though, so I gotta think about that. How much extra stuff do I need to do I want to add to my workload that isn't even in the game? Like, the tail doesn't even move in the game, so... Damn, I gotta think about that. Do I want it to animate? Alright, you know what? I'm gonna treat it just as if I do want it to animate, and I'm just gonna make it separate pieces anyway, because I don't think it'll take all that much longer than just doing it all as one piece. So it'll just give me the option if I have time later on to animate it, the tail. I think that's the way to go. D-Storm says, I don't know if you knew, but Mega Man Maverick Hunter X is a remake of SNES's Mega Man X. This one in 3D has voice acting and an anime episode that narrates what happens before the game. Yeah, I remember when that came out. It's mobile, right? I think that was why I never played it, because it was on mobile, and I don't like playing stuff on my phone that much. It looks cool, though. And I did watch the movie, the little anime movie they made that came out before. I think it's called, it has a very ominous title. It's something about Sigma. But it shows kind of how Sigma goes bad, and yeah, I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed that. Anytime they do anything animated, I always love that stuff. I love the animated cutscenes in Mega Man X4. Even though even the one with Zero's horrible voice acting, when he's like, what happens? I think Iris dies or something. He's like, no, what am I fighting for? Or whatever he says. It's so funny. It's so bad, but the animation's really cool. Yeah, I miss when they did more stuff like that. I love the animated cutscenes. They should make like an anime, like a Mega Man X anime. I think people would watch that. Oh, well, they've made Battle Network, right? But I mean, like Mega Man X, they should make an anime, like a full-fledged thing. That'd be really cool. Battle Network was cool too. I enjoyed that when I was a kid. I had the little PET thing and all that stuff. Alright, let me think about this tail, because I think I'm going to make the center part first, because that'll be easier, and then I'll make shells that wrap around it. And I made shells like that recently for something, for a client, and I can't remember how I did it exactly, but I found a really efficient way to do it that didn't take too long, and I can't remember what it was for the life of me. I'll have to try to think about that while I'm working on this. Try to remember what I did. So I think in order to make that inner part of the tail, you know what, I think I'm gonna do it as a curve, and just create a Bezier curve. I haven't done this in a while, so I sort of forgot how. Let's see if I can remember. And then create a circle. And then the Bezier curve, and the options, you can make it so that it which of these is it? I always forget. Is it this? Yeah, that's what it is. And then you can just go edit the curve and just create what you want it to look like. Okay, so let me do that. Yeah, this is the problem though. It always starts in this really awkward angle. I don't know why it's like that. Why it doesn't just start with a straight piece is completely beyond me. Yeah, maybe like this, and then like this. That's better. That's not correct. Let's see here. I want to get that nice and centered as much as possible. D-Storm says, haha, it's a classic. I'll be back, bro. Yeah, that Zero thing. Yeah, that's super classic. Yeah, see you in a bit, D-Storm. No worries. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll grab this. Oops, I still have all this on. Let me change that. Okie dokie. Can I just Alt R? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so that works. I just don't want that to be rotated at all. No, that'll do. And then it looks like, let's see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it centered, and then it's gonna flare up here, and then it's gonna go back down and around and kind of smooth out. I think that makes sense. So, yeah, for starters, let me just get this general shape going. I think I will need to extrude it at least once. Okay. It might need another, actually. Because that part is so... what is that? I don't understand. Let me see. Because I want this to be up here and then to rotate down. Kind of going up like this, but this isn't big enough yet. Actually, yeah, because it should start here and then it's gonna flare out. Okay, so I'll have to deal with that. But let me do all these then and make them all a little more narrow. No, that doesn't make sense because here. I have 3 of these to work with, so let me put one up here. Let me put one here. And does that smooth that out a bit? Probably. No, I think it needs less. After all. Maybe it only needs 2, maybe that's why. Here, let's get rid of this. I probably added too many. Yeah, let's just stretch this out. And let's angle this slightly. Oh no, because this is not angled, that's why. Okay, so maybe it does need one more. And just gotta be careful about where it goes. Or maybe this should be angled. I'm overthinking it. Let me do it like this. Let me go back to this. Go back to just 2. And let me stretch this one out. And then this one. Okay, yeah, definitely is the 3rd one. And let's do less stretch or more stretch? Less stretched, okay. And then this one, also less, not too little. See, I don't know why it's getting so janky in the crease there though. It should be smooth. Is it just because this is not angled at all? Can't make it any smaller. I might have to just fix that afterwards. I don't know why it's doing that, but this is starting to look correct. Okay. And then oh, I see what's going on. Okay. So why? Oh, it's because this is too long? No, but then it loses its shape. Hmm. It has an extra segment. No, that's not helping. Hmm. I don't know why it's doing that. It's sort of, other than that, it's sort of taking the shape that I wanted, but yeah. Alright, I'll have to fix it manually, that's okay, I think. Let's just see if we can do that. Okay, let's go to sculpt, and let's just try to smooth this out down here, this part. See if that's possible. Gotta turn symmetry. Okay. Ow, it didn't even symmetrize. Here. There we go. Just want to smooth this until it's not overlapping. There we go. And then I can sculpt that to kind of fit where I want it to be. So that'll be good. And then it already has good geometry. Same thing with this. But see, that's going to ruin this. This circle is actually correct. What I really just need to fix is that top part that's overlapping. I don't want to mess with the circle though. The circle is good. If possible. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look like it is possible, so it's fine. I'll just fix it after. Okay. Let me see the wire while I'm doing this so I can tell what's happening to the geometry. That'll be important. Because this doesn't actually have to be perfect. It just needs to be reasonable for what this is and what it does. Then that flare still needs to be added at the top. So, I mean, it's kind of there now. I could actually just kind of harden that edge and it'd probably work like that. So, it's not that big a deal. And then let me get these kind of round. Damn it. There we go. Okay. And then go back to sculpt and we'll smooth it all. Pull these out a little bit. Something like that. And then let's pull that out a little bit. And flatten this, and this will serve as our as that angle that you see there. That'll work. And we'll make that sharp right at the top there, where that peak should be. Okay, and then let me go back to edit. Let me close that, and let me close this. Oops. And then got that. And I'm gonna reinforce that, so that when I smooth it, we don't lose that nice edge. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to smooth it just like I did that other piece. Smooth. Yeah, that piece just wants to stay wonky. It doesn't want to get reined in. There it is. See how flat that is there? That's why it feels like that. Because it is like that. Just hard to see where. Okay, that's a little better. Same thing here. Don't want that to buckle like that though. And I can't pull on this. Oh, that's weird. It's like reversed. I don't know what that means. Okay. Okay, that's starting to look right. I'm gonna pull this piece down and fix that too. I gotta make sure that this looks very much how I want it to, because I'm gonna use this to define the pieces that are gonna go around it quite a bit, I think. So I want to make sure all the roundness is kind of correct as I want it to be. That's starting to look right. Look, what happened there? That's weird, it's on one side and not the other, even though I have symmetry on. That's not a good sign. Oh. Oh no. That's all kinds of bad. Look at that. I can't even smooth it. Is that because of the modifier? Nope, it's just there. That's super weird. I don't know what to do about that exactly. It seems to get worse as I smooth it. Let me see if I can get to a spot where that wasn't like that. Okay. That's weird. It's doing weird stuff even though symmetry's on. Maybe those are stuck vertexes or something awful like that. And that's why some of them are moving weird. Yeah, something's wrong. I wonder what that is. If I turn symmetry off. No, they're still weird. I don't know what that is. Well, luckily this piece is going to be hidden, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But let me just see if I can Can I do that and not have it all messed up? No, even that messes it up. Yeah, something got weird there. I don't know what. Something's... Look how weird that is. It's not moving right at all. It's a weird little glitch. Okay. Well, it's generally in the right place now. So I think I'm just going to try to smooth it out and not aggravate that too much. Yeah, even these little edges, they're getting weird. That's strange. I wonder what that is. What is causing that? Well, I know how to fix it. Jeez, what the hell? It's even worse than it looks. Let's delete those. Oops, not like that. Shoot, I gotta go faces. Damn it. There we go. And then can I flatten this? Okay, there we go. What? Still weird. Okay. Let's delete this one too then. And just start with a cleaner one right here. In fact, let's do one more. Because the one behind that is even cleaner. Okay. And now let's just extrude, rotate, shrink.